Hey guys, welcome to today's session. Hopefully you didn't catch me getting all kind of comfy there. But if you did, it's cool. We're all friends, right? Okay, this is exciting. We are over here on day 2 of the Grow Your Audience Bootcamp. Make sure if you are joining now already that you've got your workbook to hand. I got a DM the other day after we finished yesterday's stream, and somebody said, Lindsay, I didn't have my workbook open and I missed the answers. So make sure if you do miss anything, there's always a watch party you can catch up on. I just want to really highlight that to everyone straight away. There is a watch party. My success coaches and mentors are going to make sure that you're tagged in that so that you don't miss anything as well. Just bear with us that we're going to try and make sure that everybody sees everything, and they will tag you in things. Apologies, we don't normally tag, we know, but we want to make sure that you guys catch everything. So for today, you can see I've already got my work top on. This is I'm going to get down and deep into the nitty gritty kind of t-shirt today. So we're going to dive straight in. Now, we're talking today about choosing the right virtual event structure for you, for your business, for your audience, and how that's going to then be used to position you as that go-to expert. So we're going to dive in to a lot. So you may want to have either your notebook with you, or you may want to kind of catch the replay. You can always watch it live anytime, but the watch parties just make it so that there's that extra little reminder there as well. If people are here and you've done your homework, if you've done your homework, put a 1 in the comments for me. They are coming through thick and fast. If you have, and you're saying you've done your homework, I will check, by the way. I am going to check. There's a little post in the group, and it does say put your homework below here. So do check that you have done that. I really do want to look at those responses from you. And I'm personally looking through things. I'm looking through all the DMs, and I'm talking to people and working things through. So make sure that you do put your homework on the posts in the group for today. The homework post for day 2 will be dropping in after this stream. So make sure that, once you've processed, everything we're talking through today, you opt onto that as well and you get yourself sorted, because I want to make sure that we don't lose anybody or leave anybody behind. The little teacher in me says, right, come on, let's make sure that we don't lose anybody. So where are we at with these virtual events and structures? Well, if you've got your workbook open, the first thing I want to do before we dive into that is just narrow down a couple of little bits with you, a couple of little points, just to make sure that we're all on the same page before we even touch those structures. Because when we start talking about structure, you are going to be instantly drawn to one, and I want to make sure that it's the right one for you and your business, particularly right now as well. So hey, everyone that's coming in, if you haven't done your homework and you're watching live and you're thinking, what's she on about? Just put a 2 in. Let me know that, you're thinking about it at least. I want to know that where you guys are at. So in terms of where we're up to with everything here now, I want you to think about your audience size for a second. We talked about this briefly yesterday. I want you to write down in your workbook, the first kind of blank that we've got is, right now my audience size is, what is your audience size? What size is it really? Feel free to put it in the comments. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. Just put me a number 1 to let me know that you're kind of thinking about it and you're following along. And once you've kind of got that in your head, if you don't know those figures automatically, then number 1, get into the habit of knowing your list size, knowing your audience size, your engaged audience size. I check mine 3-4 times a week, same times I check everything else. It's really important that you know how many people are engaged, because list sizes change quite quickly. If you're doing something proactively, you'll find it can jump really quickly. If you send a couple of really badly worded, badly planned emails, you can lose hundreds of people overnight. Okay, so just think about that for a second. Now, the next part before we look at your event structure is we need to think about what it is you are selling and what it is you need to do things by. So what is it you're selling? Is it a service? Do we have a package name for it? If we do, pop that in the comments for me. I want to know what the service is or your package name. Is it a course? What's the course called? Is it a group program? Is it one-to-one? Is it a done for you service? A done with you service? Is it self-study? What is it you're selling? And when do you want to be able to launch that by? because this is going to be key as well, because some of the structures take a bit longer to set up. Okay, they have greater impact, but sometimes they take a bit longer. So when are you wanting to launch this by? You know, what's the feeling that you've got at the moment? I'll take a quick second here and just kind of catch the comments up. Lisa's saying I have 20 people and I'm so happy already. That is amazing. I'm just going to put that on the screen, Lisa. There we go. I've learned something new. You see, I can do that now. So that's fantastic. So next step is obviously now we know how many people we've got, and I know there's a bit of a comment lag because it's just come up that there's going to be a lag. You know, let's think about when we need to launch our products and services by, what it is we're thinking we might want to launch. Guys who are coming inside EEM with me and joining Experience Event Masterclass, you guys, we are going to dive into this in so much detail because it's obviously mission critical. But at this point, we're just looking high level. We're just starting to get our brains kind of just settling on a few points, just thinking things through. So where's that at? So next thing that we want to do is I want to really identify something, because again, certain structures have a little bit more requirement. They require a bit more from you as the host. And again, my EEM lot that are already in, we've got you guys covered, because if you are, like me, a little bit more introvert, there's ways that we could always balance things out. But what I want to know from everybody right now, including those of you who haven't no idea what we're talking about when I say EEM, because, you know, last week I was a little bit quiet. I was actually, I promise I really was, trying to make way for other voices last week, but I will make sure that we go over that as well before the end of the stream. But right now, what is holding you back? When we talk about experience events, when we talk about virtual events, what is it that is making you a little bit itchy? If you're feeling some resistance or you're thinking, oh, I'm not quite sure, I'm not quite comfortable with certain things, what is that? Pop it in the comments for me if you're comfortable doing it. This is a safe place. You're welcome to pop anything in. If not, feel free to DM me. I know a lot of people DM'd me yesterday, because, you know, I'd love to know what it is that you're finding holding you back, because certain structures, again, we can simplify things right the way down to make sure that anybody can do it, but sometimes we just have to be that little bit more aware of where our resistances are, so we know what we need to push through. Now, when we talk about revenue, we talked about revenue really briefly yesterday, we talked about number goals, okay? And in the workbook, as you're following along, you'll see it says, my audience needs to grow by blank to achieve this. Well, what is that? What is it we need to achieve? I've just run some numbers, and because I didn't want to sit here with a calculator and look really clever, because it's been a long couple of days for me, so my mental maths is not the quickest today. So I just sat and ran some numbers before we came on, because typically a normal audience converts at around 2%. That is like the base industry baseline number. I obviously work on a much higher level. A lot of people do work higher. But when we're working out crude metrics and we're wanting to be able to plan, I always find it better to go with the industry baseline, so we're not over-egging our numbers and setting ourselves up for disappointment. I'd rather we start with those low numbers and get really excited because we know we're going to smash it. So if, for example, you have a really small audience and you find that you want to sell just, you know, you want to just get a sale in, let's say you were trying to get sale in this month and you had an audience of 200, working on a conversion rate of 2%, you would need to sell, or you need to get 4 sales. So if we've got an audience of 200, 2% conversion rate would give us 4 sales. Okay, that's a really, really crude high-level metric. We can drill right down into that. And guys inside EM, we will drill into that, don't worry. Now, if you've said, actually, my goal for the next 12 months is to make 50K in revenue. Okay, I want to keep everything lean. We're not going to dive into profit yet, but you're thinking I want to keep everything lean, but I do want to make 50K in revenue. If you're thinking that, then when we divide that down over 12 months, we're looking at around 4,167. Yes, I did round up because I did it on a calculator. That was my Blue Peter before moment. Okay, 4,167 per month. If we are looking to sell a 2K product or service, okay, so a mid-ticket element, at that range, we're going to be needing to sell 3 per month. Now, if you've got a really active audience, as we talked about yesterday, if you've got a really active, highly engaged audience, even when they're a small audience, it is possible to make that revenue off that smaller audience. The difference is you have to have a really, really close relationship. That's why a lot of people talk about building huge, mega-sized audiences, because they don't want to have that really close relationship, or they don't know how to with their audience, because they don't know about building that experience. And that's the big thing. And, we talk a lot about experience here, and being able to build an experience for your audience where they are so in love with what you're doing. They are so in love with the way you speak to them, the way you treat them, the way that you show up for them. You're not just creating an audience, you're creating not just a tribe even. It's more like a movement. It's a very, very deep connection relationship. And that's why I always like to work numbers both on the high end for big audience sizes, but also talk about that lower end, because you can get really, really healthy sales off an actually, what is considered an incredibly small to negligible size audience if you've got the right relationships with them. And again, it's worth thinking about when we start thinking about audience sizes and event structures to build our audience, what we want. Because it might be that you want to start small. It might be that you just go, I'm in, I'm all in, I'm doing it, Lindsay, let's go for it. And you commit that you are doing a bigger event structure. And we'll talk about some of these in a moment. Now, when we're talking about our events and we're talking about things, we did briefly just mention resistance. Put a 1 in the comments if you have felt resistance in your business, either to making a pitch, to making a sale, to doing a live stream. Some people are really afraid of that, and that's okay. What is it that you feel scared of? What is it that you feel like resistance to? You think, and maybe you find it because you are avoiding things on your to-do list, or maybe you find it because that thing that has been on your to-do list seems to have been there for 3 weeks, even though technically it's actually urgent. Anybody do that? I know I've pushed things around like that before, and that's why I can, hands up, I definitely do that one, which is why I do the whole eat that frog structure for my timelines, because, sometimes we all have resistances. Put your hands up, put a 1 in the comments if you do that, okay? If that is you and you know that there's something that you resist or there's a block, okay? I am catching most of your comments, by the way, guys, but I do know that some destinations are not sending me their comments over. I don't know why. We'll see. So in terms of this resistance, we're pushing this resistance forwards. Let's kind of try and unfangle some of that a second. Is there anybody who is afraid of being on video? Is there anybody who feels maybe uncomfortable or just a little bit prickly? It's not that you're afraid, it's not uncomfortable, it just kind of feels a little bit, I'm not sure if I want to do that. If that's you, it's okay. Virtual events and the structures we're talking about, some of them you don't even need to do video for, okay? We can go around that. I'd like to help people do that and to get onto video and feel comfortable, but there are ways around everything. And, how about, is there anybody here who's feeling really nervous, maybe because your network, maybe you're thinking, I don't know enough people. I don't have a big enough network. I'm not that sociable. I know for me, way back, that was my biggest concern, was I used to have, back in the film and TV days, I used to keep everyone's business cards and I'd write, this is really old school thinking, anybody who's totally millennials thinking, my gosh, what are you doing? I used to collect the business cards and I would write down on the back how I met somebody and a couple of little personal facts so that I could always have something to hand. Now, when I moved into online and I started networking with other businesses, I couldn't do that. And it was a little bit scary because I was trying to keep all this information in my head. And I was very, very aware, particularly, those of you who know my story, you'll know that about 5 years ago, I got really ill. And I wasn't networking in person with people. I wasn't seeing people. And actually, there was a point when I was really introvert and I was just like, okay, introvert has taken over now. And I was afraid. And I was afraid to connect with people. I was afraid to actually go out and produce an event. There was a point where I remember being so afraid to produce an event because I didn't know anybody that in my head that jumped to mind. I knew what I wanted to do, but nobody jumped to mind. Do you guys feel that? I've got quite a few comments that suddenly come through from Facebook. Lisa says yes. Teresa saying yeah. Chris is saying a 1. Lisa says need good lighting. Lisa will sort you on that because that is actually inside EM. We talk about lighting. Don't worry. Teresa saying, loyal, I used to make notes too. Yeah, I mean, gosh, even now, if somebody gives me one of those foil-backed business cards, I know that they're posh now. I was, way back in January, I was at Funnel Hacking Live and somebody gave me one that was all gold foil on the back. And it was beautiful. And I freaked out and went, oh, because I was thinking, my pen's not going to work on the back of that. Because I still, force of habit, do it. But this is the thing, is when we're building these events and we're thinking about, okay, who do I invite? One of the biggest resistances I hear a lot is, I don't have a big enough network, I don't know anybody. And the truth is, you don't need to worry about that, because you can build that up quite quickly. You can speak to people and you can really build those relationships really fast. Literally yesterday, you guys might have noticed I was a little bit more pinged than usual. I had definitely had way too much Red Bull, because I did 14 calls back to back yesterday, just because I only do calls on certain days of the week. And that was all to do with our next event, because I've already invited people to our next 3 events, and people were wanting to book on and have conversations, and it was amazing. Now, how many of those people have I met in real life? 2, I think. It feels like I've met all of them because I spent that much time with people yesterday. But this is what I'm saying, is you don't need to worry about it. So if you're feeling that that's a kind of a point for you, definitely don't worry about it. Again, inside of Experience Event Masterclass, I have plenty of tips, tricks, techniques, scripts even that you can use to help you get over that. But I just wanted to kind of address it before we dived into these structures, because there are 6 structures and each one is slightly different and they have some benefits. If you are making notes and you are, you're following along with the workbook, we're going to dive into filling in those 1 to 6 points now. You're probably going to need more space, because you might want to write down the different styles so you know which one is perfect for you. It depends if you're a prolific note maker like me, or whether you just store it all in your head. Okay. So when we're talking about the kind of event structures, the main 6, the first one obviously that everyone springs to mind is a virtual summit. Okay. A virtual summit is something that we hold over a number of days, where we pre-plan, we invite our speakers in, we might interview them, we might record short segments with them, we might have them do a little presentation, so they might do more webinar, they might do more piece to camera, but it is a pre-planned event that usually we do over a number of days. There are, with this whole, suddenly everyone's now trying to create virtual events, there are people popping up who are saying that they're doing, like Insta Lives for a whole day, and that's their one-day summit. That's not a one-day summit, that's just like an Insta takeover, as I call them. To me, they are not summits, because it's not giving you the same benefit. We have to kind of look at this and break it down. When we do something that is just over 1 day, or it's just over 2, yeah, we can call them mini summits and things, but the audience is going to behave very differently, and you are going to have a very different reaction to something that is a much larger scale event, same principles, but something that is much more structured, because those little, find me on Insta, follow my hashtag, watch my stories, I'm interviewing a different person on my story every hour, that type of thing, while it's great, has a very different purpose. And I don't class that as one of the main structures. I just class that as really good marketing day. Okay. Somebody's going to hate me for that, but that is being truthful. That's what it is. Okay. We do have a bit of planning, but it is different. Now, with a virtual summit, you can plan these. I talked to somebody today because there's a lot of guys in the space, because there's only a few of us that really teach at a high level. And there's a lot of guys, everybody else at the high level is a guy. I might as well just say it. Let's not pussyfoot around here. It's a guy. Talk about it as 90 days. You can create these events in 90 days. If you're more introverted, or you want to take things slower, or you've got, life happening, you might want to take longer. Because certain things, depending on what you want and your goals and the size of the event you want to create, whether it is just a standard, or it's bells and whistles, or it's like summits on steroids, for those different category levels of what you're going to produce, sometimes you might want more time. So for example, to drive traffic to your summit, if you want to do a podcast tour, all the good podcasts are booking now and last month for September, October. So you sometimes want to give yourself a little bit of a longer lead time with doing a summit. Okay, so that is structure 1. Okay, structure 2, because again, a lot of people are doing them right now. We've got some, and guys, if you want to take part in any, just let me know. Okay, because you're welcome. You're like family now. You're in my house. It's fine. Okay, so they are giveaways. Now, giveaways are great events. They differ from summits because there's a different motivation for the contributors. In a summit, you don't typically pay speakers at all. There are ways around it. There's ways that we can reimburse speakers through the summit, through the revenue, which we'll talk about tomorrow. But in a giveaway, it's different. In a giveaway, your contributors are paying to take part. It's called a contributor fee. Now, this is a very sensitive area for some individuals around contributor fees, because some people will take the attitude of, oh, I don't pay to have visibility. I don't pay. It's like, well, I bet you do. I bet you pay for ads. Or I don't need that type of visibility because these things don't stick. With giveaways, what happens is you as the host create a collaboration event between you and a number of contributors. And those contributors each pay. And really what that contributor fee, the way I see it, is that actually it's that kind of skin in the game. It's a commitment where everybody's put their kind of hat in the ring and they are saying, right, I'm doing this. Because the way a giveaway works is we want to make sure that everybody is pulling the same weight, because if everybody's committed to promote, which is what they have to do in a giveaway, then everybody must promote. Because if you don't, what happens is you end up with, a really all over the place, traffic map when you're looking at your analytics, and suddenly it just doesn't feel right. Suddenly some people are doing all the work and, they're getting very little benefit because they might be sending in their audience and expecting that you're going to send some back. And obviously you're not sending back because nobody else has sent in if you've not planned it right and you've not structured it right. So a giveaway is different. For me, the way we use it is we always have our charity of the year, and we always put half of that to our charity of the year and the rest we put on ad spend, because of the way that I use them in my business. Students, clients, people that we work with all use them slightly differently. Some use them as revenue generating. It depends what you need. Those types of events, you do not have to do any video for. So if you're a video phobe and you think, oh, that could be a perfect starting point for you just to kind of dip your toe in, it doesn't have to be everything. And I say that because there is another structure where you can put these together. So that's a giveaway. Now, there is a lot more info behind each of these. I'm just kind of giving you that kind of sizable little chunk of each one so you can start to think about what works for you. Now, option number 3 is a retreat. So a lot of people have had to suddenly do this on the fly. And there are some people that are doing it better than others, certainly. And basically, this is where you might have paid to go to a retreat in real life. You might have paid to go spend a weekend with an expert where they maybe have themselves, they maybe have a host of teachers with them, a faculty who are then teaching you very specific topics in a beautiful location. And it's nice because we all have drinks at the end. We all kind of get to just go chill out in our hotel rooms as well and have some me time. So retreats are gorgeous things, but you can do them in the virtual, and they do not devalue in the virtual world either. There are things that we can do, particularly when we're looking at experience events, to really, really make these pop, okay? There's so much scope with them. Now, for a retreat, your audience, normally you sell it as a service or a product, and your audience would be paying you anywhere from a couple of hundred to a couple of thousand. I know people that have even taken 12 to 13, well, 12,997, let's be specific, for a 4-day virtual retreat. Okay, so that is another option. It's another structure. I always recommend that people maybe if they haven't got comfortable, because there's a few things to think about, maybe if they're not comfortable with video or they're not comfortable having everything pre-planned, maybe hold the retreat for once you've got one virtual event under your belt. But there's nothing to say that you have to do that. You can do that as your first event if you want. It depends on your audience. So you've got a retreat there as number 3. Number 4 is virtual awards. Now, I've seen lots of these online that are really amazingly well done. I've equally seen a ton that are really horrific. Now, awards work really, really well if you are wanting to build a different relationship. So certain niches, a giveaway where you get complimentary people who are sharing warm leads may not be suitable. Okay, just may not be the right fit for your niche, in which case an awards certainly is. And what happens with awards, and there's a couple of ways you can run them, but typically what you would do is you put it out there that you are obviously opening the awards for people to enter. You would have an entry fee to deal with admin. And again, that entry fee, various different price points on it. And depending on how you're running the awards, you can either, your first event, use that as a pot to then use as prize fund, or you can use it to put towards the cost of the event and then use it for revenue. Because typically with awards, what I like to do is I would build the award and then I'd put in an extra day's event behind it where people can buy tickets and then spend some time. And I would make sure that I had a little panel of experts with me. Again, people from my network or people who are a good fit to judge, and they would then take part. And again, I would be interviewing them and I would be popping that out as well. So areas where awards are good. As entrepreneurs, we definitely don't get enough awards. We really should. But where it works really well is, for example, I have a SaaS agency. No secret there, everyone knows that, as well as our production agency. In software, which is what SaaS is, it's software as a service. So things like if you're paying for Shopify or Spotify or anything you pay for monthly, that's what we call a SaaS product. And in the artificial intelligence niche, which is really, really, there's loads of startups, there's loads of people wanting to win awards because it just goes as proof and it helps them raise startup funds. In that industry, awards are perfect because it's a great way to build that relationship. It's a great way to build the visibility. It works as a virtual event structure because we put something behind it. And, that's the type of industry where a giveaway wouldn't work. So awards are great. They are slightly more, if your audience wouldn't take maybe a summit on a giveaway together, or if you think actually, a giveaway wouldn't work, but I like that idea of maybe being less visual for myself straight away as my first event, awards are a great kind of fourth choice. The next one after that is conferences. So conferences, when we do virtual conferences, if you were to go, let's imagine that you went to Social Media Marketing World this year, or let's imagine, because one of the best conferences I've ever been at is Funnel Hacking Live, because I love the hype that everyone's at the doors ready, and even I run, I like sprint towards the front because that's what you do, it's fun. Now, in those things, they have high energy, there are things happening around, it's not just, these are the speakers, these are the speakers, these are the speakers. There's lots of other things happening. There's fringe events, there's breakouts, and every man and his dog's doing a Zoom breakout room right now, but there's other things that we can put around it to make it much more interesting. And those options can be monetized. So we'll talk about that in revenue tomorrow. But more importantly, we can then use that as a way to earn revenue for speakers and attract higher level speakers without necessarily paying a speaking fee. So that's something to consider. I love online conferences because there is so much, and it's the same with virtual retreats as well, which was number 3 on our list. When we are hosting these types of events, you can take so much out of the real world and make it better. So for introverted people, it's great because you can kind of dip in and dip out. It's not as stressful, but you can take some of those experiences where sometimes it's really hard to create in a mass environment because some people just miss it, and you can bring them into that virtual. So it can be so much more empowering and so much more freeing. And as a host, a whole lot less stressful because you're not worrying about, is somebody going to turn up on a day? What happens if the airport shuts? What happens if the trains are late? It's all a lot easier. So online conferences are another way to go. And the last one, which you will find nobody else talks about because nobody else does it, okay? If somebody is doing it, then trust me, they've swiped it from us, which is a hybrid. This is where you put together one or more structures in a sequence. Okay, so we love a good sequence here. It's great. Now, for example, for us in September, we have Audience Growth Con happening. You guys will have heard me talk about that. It is huge. The speakers are amazing. I'm so excited. Okay, we've got that happening. But 3 weeks before, we have a giveaway that's on the exact same topic. Okay, so we've got Build Your Audience giveaway. And then 3 weeks later, we have Audience Growth Con. With hybrid models, where it's different is that you are pinging all of the kind of ads, everything that you would normally do in one spot. So you're generating this huge chunk of traffic straight away. You are building that momentum. There's all sorts of inbuilt benefits for contributors there. It builds momentum for your big event. And most excitingly, this is just getting a little bit technical here because this is more of an advanced technique. It will ping your Facebook pixel with the audience that is absolutely primed for your event. And it's going to have pinged it within that 30-day window so that you're going to get some really accurate ads if you want to run ads to your virtual event in terms of the conference, in terms of a summit, that type of thing. And that's really critical because if you have speakers who maybe won't promote or you're not 100% sure whether people will do what they say they're going to do or they've signed to say they're going to do, you might want to run ad traffic. And that's fine. Some of our events we do, some we don't. I tend to look at our speakers and kind of go, I trust these guys. Or, oh, I love her, but sometimes she can be a bit flaky, that type of thing. And what we do is by having that pixel triggered, it means that when we run ads, we're not having to wait for the Facebook optimization window, which can cause problems with events. You know, if we're going to run ads, just maybe some people tend to run them a week before, 2 weeks before. If that's the case, then that's what's going to cause issues if you've not got an audience pre-built and you're just trying to do cold targeting, and it costs a lot of money if you're going to run ads doing it that way. So by using something like a giveaway up front and then putting your summit or your online conference behind it a couple of weeks later, you get the benefit of both worlds, and it's a massive high scale event. So they are the 6 structures. How's everybody feeling? Is anybody kind of thinking, I found one, there's one for me there? What are you thinking? Let's go check the comments. Feel free to pop in any comments. LaFay, hi. I've just seen that one. Clicked on it there. Let's go back up. There we go. Yeah, guys, if StreamYard's being naughty, I still haven't worked out how to turn this. You have to have said something for it to pull it through. And I don't want to try and do it live. Yep, so I've got a couple of comments here coming through. Oh, who's that? Is that coming from Periscope? Okay, yeah, so I've got a couple of comments from people saying summit, online conference, somebody going hybrid sounds cool. What have we got over here? We've got, what's that one? Oh, let me go back and grab it. We've got a couple of people saying retreats, conference, retreat, summit. Yeah, so everyone has different ideas of what they think is going to work for them and what they're feeling drawn to. And that's the key thing. It's what are you being drawn to and where do you feel it sits? Now, each of these things, there is nothing to stop you in a year. If you wanted to become and you really got addicted to this, there's nothing to stop you producing all 6 of these in a year. Okay, who just fainted? Who was it that I heard just go third? Who fainted at that? Because this is the thing. When we are looking at our catalysts in our business, you might say, I just want to do 1, I just want to do 2. And then as you scale up, you might go, actually, I'm going to plan my launches around, you know, for my services, my products, I'm going to plan them around hosting maybe 3, 4, 5. We've got 6 in this year. So I'm going to plan it around these things. I'm going to do 1 of each structure, and you might grow your business to do that. And then that, you know, you're maybe kind of balancing it out with some visibility, maybe doing some PR, maybe doing some podcast tours and things, and it grows your business in a different way. And it means that you're always growing your network, growing your audience and your revenue in that same structure where you're in control and you are in charge of the stage, because all of these events are your stage. This is the critical thing. They're all a stage that you are in control of, you've created, you're in charge of. And that's not a scary thing. That's not a bad thing. It means that you can create something greater than anybody else in your niche. Because the truth is that your audience are probably tired of hearing everybody else say the same thing, because It's always like that, isn't it? Especially on social media, it's like da, 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 da. And that's what we don't want. We want it to be fun. We want it to be engaging. We want people to listen to us because they see something different. And that's where when you take those 6 structures and you put the experience framework onto them, that's where they suddenly pop, because you are not like the rest of the competition. You're not like anybody even in your industry usually, because nobody pays that level of attention to the way that they look after their audience, because they're just kind of like, we live in this Facebook ads culture and this Google ads culture. They're like, oh yeah, I screwed that one up, I screwed that lead up, I'll just put some more ads on, I'll go get another one. And that's the culture we live in. And it's really crap, because when we do that, what happens is our audience are not engaged, our attitude is really wrong, and ultimately you just get a really bad reputation, because over time, each of those, oh, that's a crap lead, let's get rid of them, that just ruins it. And it really does spoil it. So that's the structures. Hopefully you're keeping up with the workbook. Hey, LaFay, it's good to see you. So some people obviously ask about revenue, and I've got a question here about revenue as well. Somebody's saying about giveaways and do people stick around, and how much, as a contributor, can you earn from giveaways? This is a really good topic, and I will make sure that we've covered that, because I think it's critical. When people host giveaways and contributors are in them, depending on the way the giveaway is structured, depending on the host, depending on their experience, depending on if they've outsourced it, and I see a lot of this recently, if the outsourcing people are just copying and pasting and there's no experience factor, some of them you might get a couple of hundred leads, you might get 5. We've been in an event where we got 10 leads, and it was just like, oh, what the hell happened there then? And some you might get, 1,600, 1,700. It depends on the event. It depends on the host who is in the event, and how, when they've been selecting their contributors, how much are they paying attention to those contributors. And what I mean by that is, people think that list size is everything. It's not. Small lists can be amazing. Big lists can be burnt out and exhausted and mistreated. Okay, and a lot of my 7-figure clients at that end of the scale, the first thing I do is usually, split their list by half, if not more, because that's common practice. So as a contributor, that's kind of amount of leads you can be looking at. Do people stick around? Do they attract freebie hunters? That's kind of a message that's come up here. Yes, they do. If you look after them right, you're always going to get, with events, particularly giveaways, is that one that always seems to get more, where you will get an influx of leads in and you will naturally lose a load out. There are ways to stop that. There are techniques and tricks to stop it. I teach it to our hosts to try and, help them eradicate that, because while we can't stop it, there are ways that we can reduce that level of churn quite quickly. So that's the point. In terms of revenue, it very much depends what you are looking for in terms of revenue as a contributor. If you're selling a self-liquidating offer that's maybe like $27 a go, and you're selling that on the back of your opt-ins, it could be that you make some instant money from that. It depends on the match to the giveaway that you're in. And in terms of how much you can earn for services, it depends. I don't even want to count how many calls I've had, because I'm not going to be accurate. I like to try and be accurate. I'm really anal about that. I've had several calls this week alone where, how did we meet? It's been a giveaway has come up, because I have been featured in an awful lot this year. Now, from the back of that, this week, I've converted plus 10K from people who have been and seen me in a giveaway and seen that relationship. Some of them, I had one gentleman saying, hopefully he is watching, and he might laugh when I say this, but he literally said, I never opened some of those emails. I knew they were there, but I didn't open them. So suddenly you just kind of popped up in front of me, and it's like, you're here at the right time. It can be that. You can have that relationship. It can take months. Sometimes you can have it happen straight away. So hopefully for the giveaway one, because I know that's a hot topic for people, that's one that kind of we've covered there. Like I say, for me, summits, conferences, retreats, all of those 6 kind of topics we've just talked about there, which I'm just going to run through again, just for those of you following along in the workbook. So number 1 is a summit. for the summits, for the structures. Number 2 is a giveaway. Number 3 is a retreat. Number 4 is awards. Number 5 is conferences. And number 6 is hybrid. Okay, so they are the different structures. Now for you guys, what I want to see in terms of you guys doing your homework in the workbook is I want you to think about, I do want to see it, I really, really do. Don't think I'm just saying that. I want to know which event structure you want to do next in your business. Okay, don't worry about the how. How are we going to execute it? What we're looking at is what is going to be the next right fit for you. And I want to know why. So just pop it on the homework post. The homework for day 2 is going to pop up at the end of the stream. Make sure that you pop it on sometime between now, end of the stream when it goes up, and tomorrow, because I will be checking and I'll be looking through, and make sure that you put day 1s in if you haven't. And I really want you to kind of tell me that I think I would be best with a whatever structure works for you best. And I really want to know why and what that's going to allow you to do. What are these goals like we talked about at the start of this stream? What is it that you're looking for? Because that's really critical. We don't just want to create an event for the sake of it, because that's out of alignment. We want to create these beautiful events that are experiences for the audience and the speakers, and where everything resonates. We want to create that in line with our business goals, in line with those revenue goals, in line with those boundaries. Maybe you don't want to be chained to the desk, 18 hours a day, because as an entrepreneur, we pick which 18 hours a day we work instead of 8. So what is it that you want to do? Do you want to just, like I do, I take all of December off, and everyone always laughs and goes, you take an entire month? Yeah, I take quite a few months off most of the time, because that's what I choose to do. It's up to you to decide what structures work best in your business, for you, for your revenue, for all of those goals. So do please pop that in the homework. Now, for those of you guys who are thinking, oh my gosh, she's mentioned EEM a lot. What on earth is Lindsay on about? I'm just going to grab 5-10 minutes. I'm just going to quickly explain about it, because I don't want you to miss out. And as you know, I'm really, really, really bad at remembering to tell you about stuff like this. I kind of get all deep into value and go all teachery and kind of deliver all this information, because, I do not do content. I do not do filler content. We are the whole kind of 10 yards here. So EEM, just so you know, is Experience Event Masterclass. I'm going to put it on screen because, there we go. The URL is on the screen right now. Basically what this is, it is a 6-month incubator program. It is not just a one-off masterclass. It's 6 months, and you're working with myself and my team as part of a done with you type structure to really surround you from all areas to help you create your virtual events. Now, those virtual events, we teach you how to create each of these, so you can really dive into areas that you want to kind of follow through the structure. But most importantly, we teach you in line with the Experience Event Framework, which is our proprietary system that's been developed from over 10 years worth of data. So that is where we're at with it. Now, what's inside and the way it works is really, really simple. Basically, what we're doing is, we have training videos, we have all the resources that you need to create your events. We have all the funnels, we have the swipe files, we have the scripts, we have sample graphics, we have everything so that you are literally going, okay, I've got my idea, this is what I need to do. We've got all of the Experience Event Framework structure for how you can make that just completely level up. We have weekly group coaching with hot seats. So those can be booked in advance if you wish to. If you just want to turn up and ask something, that's great. I stay with you till the end. They are nitty-gritty, down to action workshops. We have the weekly implementation lab, and that is, again, you are coming because that session is a drop-in. You can come and join us for everything, or you can just drop in, and it's just making sure that you are able to implement. If there's a tech thing you need help with, we've got you. If you want us to show us something and get into your account and do it with you, we will. That's what that is. It's really down in there and deep. We do have the private Facebook community. Like I say, you've got the funnels, the pages, the layouts, the checklists. We actually are giving you bird's eye view, not only over our shoulder with technical training sessions for how to do everything. So lack of tech, low tech knowledge, all of that doesn't exist. We sort that. We are doing it over the shoulder with you. But what we're also giving you is to give you that high level view of how these events are created, what they look like, what that can look like for you as a host. We're giving you insight into us creating a live event alongside you. So while you're building your event, we are building one here too. Now, the reason that that is unique, nobody else does that, because most of the people out there who talk about this actually don't produce that many events themselves. I was talking to somebody today, and actually what came up was there was one individual who was named, and I know that in 5 years they've made 2 events. Yeah, how is that keeping up with trends? You're not creating enough data. You know, some people do create more, but they never really let you in over the shoulders, whereas that's what we're doing. We want you to be able to drop in and see so you can benchmark, because there's nothing worse than when you're trying to make something and you don't know what you're doing because you've never done it before, or you've done it before and it didn't work out the way you want. And you just want to not just have the training, but you want to have something to benchmark off. That's what we're giving you. We're giving you access into that. We are giving you all of the blueprints. Literally, there is nothing that you could want that you won't have. We're giving you the giveaway training. So to create the giveaway experience event training, we've got the virtual summit events experience training. We have challenges, because if that's part of it, we've not really talked about it, but they are included as well. And we're giving you the audience experience super bundle, and that's all part of Experience Events Masterclass, which, like I say, is that 6-month incubator. Now, that's a lot. There is a lot in there. And you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, Lindsay, how much is it? Is it going to make me cry? No, it's not. This should be upwards of 5K. Okay. We've not got it at that. And the reason we've not got it at that is because I appreciate there are a lot of people out there who have taken the time to distill into themselves really what it is they want their business to be, and they're maybe coming at things from a new place and a new trajectory. So for Experience Event Masterclass, this time round, while the doors are open, the pay in full price is $1,800. The very, very generous payment plan, which, you know, normally I wouldn't say let's do that, but again, I'm trying to help everybody here. With that, the payment plan is $300 per month for 6 months. So it's really, really generous. We're not charging you, because I really hate it when people offer a payment plan and then suddenly you realize that you're paying nearly double for the cost of something. So we're not doing that. It is just $300 a month. And if you are one of those people, because somebody asked me this earlier and went, what happens if it takes me longer than 6 months? That's fine. You can stay with us, even if you do pay in full and you go, actually, I've done 6 months, but I want to do some of these other structures. Lindsay, I need to kind of stay. That's fine. You can stay. We do it just on a rolling $300 per month after that. So you can stay if you want to. In terms of additionals, because you guys, it wouldn't be me if I didn't over deliver. You know, I love to kind of go through that. Now, what we've got going on top of that is you're getting all of the funnels, all of the scripts, the swipe files, the graphics, all of that time with us, which again, nobody ever does. They kind of deliver these things as pre-recorded video. That's it. And then please pay me, like, you know, somebody said to me the other day, please pay me like 8 to 10 grand and I'll eventually train you through it. That's not what we do. That's not fun. So what we've got in is, if you did want to come in and do pay in full, right now, what you would get for that, and I'm going to read it off the screen because I do not want to miss anything, is you get your laser focus call. So it's a one-to-one onboarding laser focus call. That's 45 minutes with me. I'm not outsourcing that to the team. It's with me. You will get a one-to-one offer development call. You get a exclusive pre-training event and workbook, which is happening on Sunday. Okay, it's happening on Sunday. You have to be involved in that one. And you get a VIP pass to Audience Growth Con, which is where you go behind the scenes. There's some extra goodies. You are going to love it. I'm not revealing that because we haven't done a big announcement for Audience Growth Con too much, but you're going to love it. Now, regardless of whether you choose to do pay in full and get those extra benefits, if you did want to come and join Experience Event Masterclass now, there are some extra bonuses. Because again, over delivery. Can I over deliver a bit more? What we're doing is, for anybody who comes in, if you're on payment plan, if you come in before the bonuses expire, and they will, because I'm giving away an awful lot here, we've got the onboarding one-to-one focus call is included as a bonus for now. If you wanted to come on using the $300 per month payment plan, you do get the pre-training event workbook and the Audience Growth Compass. They are starting to expire. They're going to start expiring as of tomorrow. As of tomorrow, some of these will start to disappear. And I say that because I have to, because I can't, for the amount of people asking to come in and join Experience Event Masterclass, I physically cannot take every single one of them through a one-to-one call and all of these extra things. So they will be disappearing for that reason. But that being said, the other thing that I have told you before, and if you guys don't know, with Experience Event Masterclass, this is not one of those, I'm opening the door, we're going to put a couple of hundred people in. This is a very intimate incubator. It is not going to be filled with hundreds of people. I don't particularly want more. I'm not going to tell you how many I should be. And the reason for that is really simple, because I don't want you to think, oh my gosh, she's hit a quota, she's closing the door. That's not the way that I work. The way that I work with my clients is I speak to each and every one of them normally, way before, and I know the people before they usually come in the doors, which means that I know their needs, I know their fears, I know their resistances, I know the level of work that each individual, because it's important to me, and remember, I am a fully qualified teacher here in the UK as well, so I have this background of working with students on a one-to-one, and I'm certified by the Institute of Members and Entrepreneurs as well. And again, working with each individual, some people have higher needs than others. So what would be really unfair is to bring a cohort in, put you through everything, and then to kind of have people who may get left behind. So rather than leave people behind, I look at, okay, what is going to be capacity for the cohorts? So time capacity to make sure we get everybody through everything. If people, if everyone shows up to a weekly call and, to avoid it being an 8-hour stream, what is it, how many people can we work with? So the doors will be closing as I get to that. So I may close them early if everyone is coming through and they're nice, simple in that sense, because, everything is normal. There's nothing really too kind of hot to work with. And so far we haven't had anybody that's been a bit more complicated, but I just want to make it really clear, if we do have anybody that is coming through like that, you think, oh, I've got extra needs, it's fine. You're welcome to come in. If you're thinking, oh, I'm an introvert, I don't know if I can do this, you're welcome, because we will spend that time with you. It just means that, like I say, we might close the doors earlier than planned if we end up with too many people where we're going to have to give additional kind of time within that group, because it's important that each of you gets a fair amount of time. The one thing I hate when people announce programs or courses is they say, oh, group coach, we're going to do a weekly session, and you never get to ask a question. Put a one in the comments if you've been through this. Is it just me? I hate it. Like, it really boils my blood to the point where I just end up saying to people now when they're trying to kind of, because everyone's always seems to be trying to sell me something recently. I'm just like, well, do you know what, guys? I like it when I can book. And, I know some fantastic people in the industry who do that as well, as, the same way that I do, where I can book in and I know that I'm going to get my time. But I hate it when you go in these programs and you go in courses and incubators and you have needs and you have questions and the host doesn't let you on or doesn't address them because sometimes they're a little bit hard or they're going to be an uncomfortable conversation to have. I don't do that, okay? I make sure that everybody can come through, that ask the questions, you get taught what you need to know for your business, for your events and for your audience. I'm not afraid of having those conversations, and that's a really key thing. So with Experience Event Masterclass, just to kind of whiz back through what is available, because like I say, I do know that I haven't really told some of the people watching now what's included until today. So you're getting all the training videos and resources. We have that weekly group coaching hot seat elements, which happens. We have the implementation lab, we have the funnel layouts and all of the templates, everything in there. We've got swipe files, we've got the community, we've got checklists, we've got blueprints. So you can see how everything goes together. You are not left going, she told me to do this. What am I supposed to do? I feel like I'm pulling my hair out. No, we don't do that. We're building a live event so you can see over our shoulder, which again, nobody else does. We're giving you that over the shoulder tech support. We're making sure that we're not, again, we're talking about this later in the week, but tools that woo your audience. We're using tools that will woo them as extras that you might pick up as an artist picking up a paintbrush to add a bit of definition. We are not going to say, go buy all of this technical stuff because, oh, we're all affiliated to stuff and, oh, isn't it great? Don't do that, okay? We go over the shoulder with the tech that you need to deliver these events. And then we talk about the additional tools that you can add in, and we'll show you for you what will work and what won't, if you need them. You might not even need them. It depends on what your audience is and what you're doing. But we also then give you the giveaway training, we give you the summit training, we give you the challenge training, we give the audience experience super bundle. There is some other things in that I'm just not telling everyone yet because I've got some stuff planned that's a surprises. And then, like I say, that is that pay in full where you get that extra bonus stuff. You're also getting the offer development. And if you're a pay in full and anybody who's on payment plan, you are getting the onboarding, the pre-training and the VIP pass as well. For those who are thinking, oh, Lindsay, there's a lot happening. Is there anything else? Of course. Can I just over deliver one last time? Is that okay on this one? Okay. I'm going to take it since I've got a little kind of couple of ones shooting through here in the comments. Yeah, so for those people that want to kind of start now, I've just seen one question flick up. I'll just put that on the screen there. If I pay in full now, can I start in 3 months? Yes, you can. Okay, you can get in now and start in 3 months. We will be reopening the doors to Experience Event Masterclass later in the year, but the price will be going up by then and it will go up quite a lot. And the reason for that is, like I say, I've actually just brought it down because of this need to kind of help people who have distilled and are reshaping the way that they're working. Because I find it really powerful that we amplify those voices right now. And that's why we're doing it at this rate. So if you want to come in and you want to join us now, you can join us because the structure of the course and the structure of the incubator is that you can dip in. You might go, oh, I've got a spare week. I'm just going to dip in and do something. And then you might want to start and really dig in then in a couple of months. But you might just want to kind of dip in and out. That's fine. That's why it's built the way it is. You get access to everything. It's not a kind of a holes barred situation. Now, guys, for those of you who said, yes, I'm okay to over deliver just a little bit more. One of the things I haven't mentioned that you're getting access to is my team. My team. I feel like we should give them a clap and a round of applause for everybody here. Okay. If they were in the room, I'd say, come and introduce yourselves and, you know, we'd celebrate, or I'd bring them on a group call. These are people that I love. They are like family to me. They're not family, but they are like family because my team is spread all over the globe and I love them and I have them here because they are amazing people at what they do. And they produce events with me for our clients. So we do, beyond teaching this, we produce these. Last year, we produced 14 summits back to back that were high-end bells and whistle summits. That's not including anything else, okay? And one of them we produced in 6 weeks, which is even quicker than 90 days, okay? So my team are in here as well. We have some of our copywriting team coming to look at things with you. They will be on some calls, going through, looking at copy, looking at messaging. We will be looking at things like graphics. We have video support. We even have people around to support you with mindset so that if you do have a little wobble, because it's normal whenever it's like if you're throwing a party. Has anybody ever thrown a party and then gone, oh, I wish I hadn't done that now? All my introverts in the house, if that's you, kind of give me a little, because I do that. I kind of commit to throwing a big party every year at Christmas. And then a couple of days before when I'm stressed, I go, that wasn't a good idea. Can I cancel? And I never do, but I always feel like it. So we've got the mindset guys in there for that as well to help you and to make sure that you've got everything that you need. So you're getting access to all of the stuff that's on the Experience Event Masterclass page, which is down here at the moment. But most importantly, you are getting access to the team as well, because that's not listed. And I really think I ought to point it out because these are the people that help me make my events magical. They are trained by me in our system, in our order of delivery. And they are my go-to guys. Literally, they're my go-to guys. So you're getting access to them as well. And they will point you in the right direction. They will help answer questions, answer queries, and they are here to help you. Okay? So obviously, you know, there's such a lot in there. There's loads happening. If you want to chat with me and you're thinking, oh my gosh, Lindsay, there's so much stuff I want to talk to you about with this, hit me up on DM. Drop me a DM and I can answer you. Again, if you want to book in a call, just comment below that you want to book a call. So, you know, book a call. My team will pick that up and we will get you scheduled in for a call with me. Because I'm taking these myself for the calls, I don't like to deploy a sales team for things like this because I think there's so much value in the conversations that we have because it helps me understand you and what you need and what you want. So that's why I'm handling it myself. Otherwise, normally I'd let my sales agents do that because, you know, they're exceptional. But I want to make sure that this for you guys, for right now, for the world we're in, and all of those changes people are making. I want to make sure that I'm supporting you right the way through. So we've got that happening. And then, like I say, guys, there's all of the stuff with the events that we've got running now that you guys also get to look at. All sorts of little experience things are built into this. This is actually a certified experience product itself, the actual incubator. So not only are you going through our framework, but you're also going through a certified experience product framework as well. So you are getting double the experience, double of everything, and you will see for yourself how you can make your audiences really sing and really fall in love with you. We're going to talk about this wooing of the audience because that's the relationship. We're going to talk about that later in the week. For those of you who are following along, tomorrow we are talking about, and this is where we get to the woo, okay? We're going to get woo-woo, guys, okay? I feel like we should have some little like Valentine's stuff going on, but we're not going to do that in the background tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about defining who your event audience is and what would make your virtual event a dream date for them, okay? Because it is. We need our audience. If we want them to stick around, we don't want to be direct response marketing to them going, buy now, buy now, buy now, okay? That works in the bro culture, in the bro kind of economy culture. Buy, 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 okay? That does not work in the, we're building a movement. We want these diehard, raving fans who love us and are going to ultimately eventually become our own personal sales agents because they are going to be telling everybody they know about how amazing you are. Okay, so we need to woo these guys. We need to spend time with them and build that relationship. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Like I say, any questions anybody's got, feel free to hit me up in DMs and to do it. Somebody's saying here, curb your enthusiasm. Whoever is ardent heart, I can't help it. I am one of those very excitable people. And when I'm passionate about something, I share it. Okay. And the reason I do that is not because, trying to sell anything, trying to do anything. I believe so much in what we do and the methodology that we use and the way that we teach. We know we get results. And that's why I'm passionate. That's why I'm enthusiastic. Because otherwise, if we didn't believe in things, we would be like, and there are courses out there where people are currently teaching. I've seen a few of them recently because some reason it all seems to be popping up in front of me right now, where people are teaching people to do things that A, they can't do themselves, and B, they just don't work. And they're using very, very bad marketing tactics to say, this is going to work. You're going to be able to have it done in 90 days. It's going to be amazing. One I saw the other day was somebody saying you're going to make at least 70K revenue and you're going to be able to do all this and execute and have it in the bank in 90 days. No hard work. It's all dead easy. And I just went, no, I'm not creating things that are bells and whistles for that extent. You might get that as a unicorn, but that is not the average, and you might need longer. So yeah, I get excited, I get enthusiastic. It's me, and if you don't like that, please don't stay on the live stream if you don't like it, because that is just the way it works. Experience Event Masterclass is our flagship system, and it's our flagship system because of the framework that is built around it. Because trust me, I was not as excited and nowhere near as enthusiastic when I sat and went through 10 years worth of data. That is every event we do a post-mortem of an event because it's done. We want to analyze it. And I went back through 10 years worth of them, looking at every event, looking at all of the factors that we maybe didn't list as well, such as, what was the host like? How was the host enthusiasm? What did that do? And it was amazing to pull all of that data together. But trust me, in the wee dark hours of the morning at like 2 a.m. when you're kind of like matchsticks and going, whew, okay, that is not as exciting. When I created the Experience Event framework and finally got the pieces together and could see the real issues where people were going wrong with all of these other tactics that people are doing and where those issues are happening, oh my God, honestly, it was like eureka. And I actually went round, we had some of those, have you seen them? They're not like dealy boppers, they're like big long things with lights in and they flash like disco and you kind of dance like that. Yeah, I went around looking for them so I could just do the little happy dance. It was about 3 a.m. and I was just so excited that I'd finally finished plowing through everything. Every single thing when we applied the framework to it was working then, because I went through modeling. I'm a bit of a data geek, so I got excited. And literally, I was so excited. I went and got these little things and was like dancing like this. Go, yes! Okay, this is it. And then we ran through that with clients and got those clients that success. And it's like, right, great. So I do get excited because it works. The experience framework works because your audience fall in love with you on a level that they just can't. Because when we talk about audiences and we talk about, funneling them and things, 5 years ago, audiences, they found it quite novel to be funneled. It was still okay. Whereas now we live in this automation world and everybody knows things are automated and they're all a little bit kind of like, ooh, and they don't like it. They want that seamless service that you get with a funnel, but they don't want to be funneled. They don't want those experiences. They want that very personal, almost concierge experience. And it's how do we give them that without applying the same brush to everybody, because that's where it goes wrong. Okay, so that's the structure. Now, a couple of people have said book a call, please. That's fine. I can see a few things coming through. Somebody said, I like your enthusiasm. I like all of the little emojis. We'll pop that one up there. I like that. You guys know I love a good emoji. Hi, Ellie. Just seeing that you're catching a replay. #replay. So, guys, that is everything that we're going to cover tonight. So just a quick recap on those points, just for those guys following along in the workbook, just to make sure that we've not left anybody behind. So just to go through, I've got it in front of me now. So first thing in the blanks on day 2 of the workbook is I want you to fill in what size your audience is now. I want you to fill in what you want to launch in gap 2, and I want you to tell me by when. Okay, when are you doing that by? So you've got something in your head where you can at least start to loosely apply some timeframes. Don't worry, I'm not going to hold you to this thing in stone and say, that's it, you can't do anything else. This is just to start putting some block work in. And I want you to look at gap 4 there in the workbook, which is saying, my biggest issue holding me back is, what is it? Really, if you guys don't know right now, grab a drink, a soft drink, alcoholic, non-alcoholic, whatever you're doing, grab a drink and just answer that. What is it that's feeling a little bit, what is it that's maybe holding you back? Maybe it's something situationally that is, or maybe it's just, some of those inner resistances that we have. And then the next gap is, my audience needs to grow by X to achieve this. Like I said, I want you to think about this 2%, this magic number. 2% conversion rate is the industry benchmark. Think about that 2%. How much would you need to grow your audience by to achieve that type of number that you've mentioned earlier? Also, we're talking about this. It says, something confident on video. Ask yourself and be honest. Are you confident on video? There's no maybe. It's just a yes or a no. Because if I know that you're not and you're joining us in EEM, I will make sure that we work on techniques for you to make you confident. Okay. And again, I don't have a large network of people I could invite. That gap there, it's more for you to think about, just so you can kind of go, yeah, I'm saying I do or something I don't. I'm fine with it. I'm parking it here and we're moving on. That is there just so you can kind of park that thought, because it doesn't really matter, because the techniques I'll show you will work no matter what size. So don't worry there. In terms of the event structures, just so we can fill in points 1 to 6, I'll just recap them one final time. Event number 1 is a summit. Event number 2 is a giveaway. Number 3 is a retreat. Number 4 is awards. Number 5 is conferences. And number 6 is hybrid. I'm reading off my little tick list down here to make sure I haven't missed anything or got them in the wrong order and confused anybody. So guys, that's everything for today's live stream. Please do make sure that you're popping this onto the homework thread. When you're done with the workbook, you have that little question. What is the event structure that you would like to use right now, and why? What is it going to allow you to do? Pop that into the homework thread. If you want a call, we can book a call. If you like the look of Experience Event Masterclass, do make sure that you are getting in, because like I say, the doors will be open for a little while, but the bonuses will start to disappear as of tomorrow night. Just like I said, timing. We have to be, I have to make sure that we are doing this for everybody in everybody's best interest, rather than just saying, here's a load of bonuses, because as much as I want to over deliver, and I like to over deliver, your experience when I do that is paramount to me. So that is our top priority. So that's where we're at for the moment. We do cover 5-day challenges. Somebody is asking. We cover 5-day challenges a lot. In fact, inside of Experience Event Masterclass, you will find that we have, and I'm getting the full title for it, the Challenge Experience Event Training. That is a value of $15.97 on its own, and that is in there as a training as well. Challenges, we talk about the best way to deploy them and where we're going to deploy them, because I like to use them in the build up to events when I'm doing certain structures, because they really get that momentum going and that traffic. So we talk about challenges as well. So don't worry about that. Is any other feedback I've missed? Oh, yeah, no, I think we've got everybody. Chris is saying extremely uplifting, educational, and great to listen to. Yes, hope you got plenty out of it, Chris. Hope that you found that really helpful. For the person who said book a call, it doesn't say your name. I'm going to go back and we'll find you. Feel free to @tag me if that helps, because either me or the team will find you and we'll get you in. So that's where we're up to at the moment, guys. Like I say, do make sure that if you do want in before the bonuses expire for that, do make sure you're taking action today or tomorrow morning. It's late my time, okay? Because like I said, those bonuses will start to expire. I'll give you plenty of warning tomorrow, though, for what time they expire and what's going to start disappearing. But I'm just giving you a heads up now that that's the plan, okay? Ciao for now, guys. Any questions, tag me in and I'll be there. Davishi, Blue, I've got you. I'm not going to read your number out. We will give you a call. We'll get that set up, okay? All right, speak to you soon. Bye.